So there's nothing better than pulling up to the port and seeing a brand new sparkling ship waiting for you to board. So in this video, what we want to do is we want to share with you all the new ships that have come out this year, new ships coming out in 2026 and 2027. More importantly, we want to get you the very best deals possible on the most exciting ships. New ships can be very expensive, but not if you watch this video. We're going to show you some amazing deals. All right, so let's jump right into a new ship that came out from Norwegian Cruise Line. And we're going to cover ships that are just launched, as well as ones that are coming out over the next few months, next year or two. We're going to cover first here, Norwegian Aqua. This is actually a ship that we're going to sail on. Can't wait. That's going to be coming up in
January.
It started service in April 2025, so as you can imagine, pretty new. What's exciting and new about this, it's one of the newer concepts for Norwegian. They have the Aqua slide coaster, which I've seen plenty of videos on. Whether you'll find me on that or not remains to be seen. Come back for the review video next year and we'll find out. They have some really great new dining venues as well. They've got their adult food hall along with some new food options. We recently did the reservations for our dining, and I was actually pretty surprised about the different restaurants on board, including something from like Scarpetta on the Italian side. So there's some really nice choices overall. Now they're doing a lot of Caribbean sailings, a lot of repeated sailings. That's one of the downsides to some of these ships. I'm going to give you pricing as we go, but it starts from about $220 per person per day for a balcony cabin. So of course your inside and ocean views are going to be less. We've found what we think are 5 of the best deals. We didn't necessarily pick the cheapest ones. We wanted to find really interesting itineraries that also had a nice combination of time of year that they're going as well. With Norwegian Aqua, it's a lot of repeated sailings where they're going. You'll see on some of the other ones, it can get pretty exotic overall. But you see here on deal number 1 coming up in fall 2026, a really nice round trip and for under $220 per person per day. And Norwegian does have a really nice program called More at Sea you can add on, and that could bump you up to including your beverage package, your Wi-Fi, some specialty dining, and even some shore excursion credits. So it doesn't have to cost you dramatically more than the pricing you're seeing on the screen. So take a screenshot of any of these deals to help get you started thinking about what's available, and realize there's a lot of other dates as well.
Next is MSC World America. It is the first MSC ship that was purpose-built for the North American market. So this one started service in 2025. What's really cool about this ship is they have 7 themed districts, different neighborhoods around the ship. Cliffhanger Swing Ride, another crazy ride. Largest MSC yacht club that they have is on this ship as well. So tell us about some of the featured sailings.
One thing I would recommend if you ever want to do a suite, but you want to save a lot of money, MSC is a good place to do it. The yacht club experience has a great reputation. You can many times get it for about half the price of a suite you would see on Celebrity. If you want to make the jump, because this is more of a value play, you can see the balconies per person per day start as low as $144. MSC is definitely a price leader. Look, there are some pros and cons about MSC. You need to know some things going in. There will be a lot of people on board. And this ship is sort of like they tried to take the best elements from Royal, Princess, and Norwegian and cobble it together. But overall, the reviews have been fairly favorable. And you can also do some back-to-backs if you want to make your itineraries more interesting. Caribbean type of itineraries are not really that unique, but you can do an Eastern and Western and put those together. So to give you some ideas and some really great deals, you can see in 2027, January out of Miami, a round trip. Also hit San Juan, Puerto Rico, under $150 per person per day. One you may want to look at is deal number 4. I thought this was kind of interesting because there's ways that you can do these back-to-backs, get a few different ports as you go. Yes, you'll have some repeats, but sometimes those are nice anyway. You can stay on board this huge ship and enjoy everything on board while everybody else is in port. You can see that one at the end of 2026, where you're going to leave in and out of Miami, so super convenient, but you'll get Puerto Plata, San Juan, Ocean Key, which is their private island experience. People really love it because it leans into nature overall. It's going to be very different than Perfect Day on Royal Caribbean. That's actually going to be a real positive overall if you want a new experience. But you see some additional combinations here and some really great prices. You're definitely going to have great prices. Moving on to Oceania. So now we're going to go to definitely higher. Oceania is more on the premium side, but the Allura, been in service since July. We sailed on the sister ship, the Vesta. We absolutely loved it. It's a smaller ship experience. You're going to have about 1,200 or so people on board. The cuisine, really quite, you could have really nice specialty dining. Their Aqua kitchen was one of our favorites for casual dining for breakfast and lunch. We love that. They have really great cooking classes if you're into that on this ship. They've got really special itineraries as well. So now we're going to get to see some more creative itineraries, and the Allura is a beautiful ship overall. So check some of these out. Look, if you want to have one of the greatest deals on any ship is do a transatlantic on Allura. You can be under $300 per person per day. Check this out. Leaving from Miami, you end up in Rome after 2 weeks. You've got great stops along the way from Malaga, Mallorca, Naples, and these are really awesome. So that's going to be your best value. You can flip it and go Barcelona to Miami. So come back the other way, leave out of Barcelona, easy to get to, and have a nice cruise. I end up in Miami, really convenient, just a little bit over $300 per person per day. Even if you're in Europe, you can see we found you a great deal for $350 per person per day. And remember in Oceania, lots of inclusions. So you're talking your gratuities, specialty dining, even your beverages in your meals aren't included. So there's not that many additional expenses. You can even get a short excursion credit. So a lot's included for this pricing. One of the coolest itineraries was this deal number 4.
Sign me up for that.
17-night Istanbul to Barcelona. It's 2028, so you have time to plan. As you can see, still quite reasonable, but wow, look at that itinerary. You're pretty much getting everywhere, but these are some stops we haven't even been to, and we've been to a lot of the different stops along the way in the Mediterranean. You've got another Miami round trip, and a Barcelona to Rome 2 weeks. So you can see you got some really nice choices of itineraries. If you want a lot of creative itineraries, Oceania does a great job mixing it up, even with one ship, without a lot of repeats.
Viking's newest ship, the Viking Vesta. And Viking ships are so beautiful. They have the sleek Scandinavian design, very minimalist, but super upscale. So this will have an all-veranda experience, under 1,000 guests on this ship. They have the Aqua terrace, their signature alfresco dining experience.
A lot of great itineraries as well. So if you like what you saw with Oceania, you're going to see a lot of that with Viking as well. Many inclusions, very little is left out. Really just gratuities are typically going to be extra on Viking, but most everything else is included. You even get a shore excursion every port. It's not always the best excursion, but at least you have the choice not to do one with the ship. Many of these stops don't even need excursions with cruise ships. You can go into port and have a great time. We found some real great value. Normally it's about $400 per person per day, but there's a surprising one, transatlantic. December 2027, go from Barcelona, come back to Florida, hit Madeira, St. Martin. It's not a lot of stops, but if you want great value and to enjoy at a leisurely pace a Viking ship, this is how to do it. You just don't typically see this pricing. The next deal up, as you can see, is quite a bit more. It's still great value for Viking at $400 per person per day. Normally the average is about $1,000 or more, but you can see Rome to Athens, if you want to do a 7-night, that's a way to do less nights. You feel like the rate's a little bit higher, just don't do a 2-week cruise then. Just do 7 nights and get the experience. You get some really nice stops there, as you can see. You got Barcelona, Reykjavik. This one is like a repositioning, but probably way more exotic when you think about it, because you leave out of Barcelona, you end up in Iceland, which is a real easy flight back to the US. You can spend a little time in Iceland. You got some great stops there from Malaga, Lisbon, Porto, Dublin, Liverpool. A lot of fun there overall. And then you got Athens to Barcelona, a 14-night. Again, look at all those great stops there. A really nice mix. And then another one option down at the bottom there, Rome to Barcelona. Instead of going to Athens, you go to Barcelona. But all of these staying well under the averages on Viking and be on a brand new ship.
The newest of the Royal Caribbean Icon class is Star of the Seas, and it came out in August. This is the ship with the largest water park at sea, the Aqua Dome, so many great features, 7 distinct pools, and probably all the activities you could ever want.
If you're into quiet, this is not going to be the ship for you, but you're into action and excitement, this is it. Now, we have not been on yet an Icon class. We're booked on one of these in the future. We'll share which one, so we're very excited. But all the feedback that we've heard, if you want high energy, high action, a state-of-the-art cruise ship that's never going to bore you, this is definitely it. Some really good deals. I think we found some really nice ones, as you can see here. Going out of Orlando on a round trip, your typical Caribbean type of sailings, but you get to go to Perfect Day, which is amazing. It's a really great private island. You don't have to spend a lot of extra if you don't want to at Perfect Day, but at least we've got you down to $250 per person per day for a balcony cabin. Royal doesn't have tons of inclusions. You are going to pay for gratuities, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, but you don't have to. It's always up to you. There's enough included. You can just spend this if you want outside of tips. Do always budget for that. You can see quite a few Orlando round trips. The itineraries don't get that exotic or that different, but there's enough different ones here if you want to do Puerto Rico, Cozumel, or Perfect Day, or maybe you don't. Maybe you've done it a few times and you want to go back and try Labadee. That's also an option here. Speaking of another new ship, Star Princess from Princess is coming out. Not selling yet from when we're recording this, but it will be selling in October 2025. They already have the Sun Princess out, so this is pretty much a mirror copy of the Sun Princess. It's a newer take for Princess, much more modern, gets rid of the curtains in the bathroom. So if you're not a fan of those, you'll have a real shower. overall, but there's a lot going on these ships. There is a lot more people as well. Some people are really into the traditional princess experience. It may not be for you, but if you want something new, more family oriented, then maybe take a look at Star Princess. Some pretty nice itineraries. I found one of the coolest one and one of the best deals is this 29 Fort Lauderdale to Seattle with a full Panama Canal transit. Check this one out. You get Aruba, Panama Canal transit, a true one, by the way, Panama City, Mazatlan, Cabo, LA, and you end up in Seattle. You end up in Seattle and you could back to back yourself to an Alaska if you prefer and really make this an amazing month. You have Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean. My advice, always take screenshots of the video or hit pause and get these down if they sound interesting to you. Look at the prices. The first 4 deals are all under $200 per person per day. You have another Panama Canal transit opportunity. This one in October 2026. Go from LA, end up in Fort Lauderdale, and get the transit, which is incredible. Imagine being on a huge ship like this, going through Panama Canal. Pretty cool.
Very
and if you want Alaska, even though Alaska is usually a bit more money, still found you some pretty good deal here in spring 2026. That's still available, by the way. So next year, this may be one to consider and really easy to get in and out of Seattle.
Princess has been sailing in Alaska longer than virtually any other cruise line. So that will be a great experience on that Sphere class ship. Next is another line that's near and dear to our hearts, and that would be Virgin Voyages and their brand new Brilliant Lady. So she is sailing now. She recently sailed into New York and then into Miami. She is going to be going through the Panama Canal and doing Alaska in 2026. And actually we'll be doing Brilliant Lady next year in Alaska.
Virgin made some changes to their packages. Not the hugest fan of the changes, but it's not as big of a deal as sometimes it looked. They basically took your gratuities out, and they're saying they're just making a separate line item in a way so you can see what's going to the crew. Most of the rest is really the same. You kind of look at their middle essentials package. It's pretty close. Outside, you do need to add in gratuities. There's a lot of inclusions. You still get some basic Wi-Fi. You still get your specialty dining. You've got some amazing deals here. Go from LA to Vancouver in 2027. That's a cool sailing because you hit some spots you don't typically hit. Victoria, Astoria, San Francisco, San Diego. Pretty cool overall. You can do your classic Caribbean round trips. As you can see, there's deal 2 and 3, still in that $200 per person per day. If you like the Mexican Riviera, I like to say how they're really changing up the sailings on this one ship. It's not repeated over and over again. You're getting Alaska sailings, Caribbean sailings, East Coast, West Coast, Panama Canal transits potentially. So a lot of really cool options here. Celebrity Xcel, the ship we're excited about. We'll be sailing on this one next year. It's coming out in November 2025. Celebrity's pouring a lot into this ship. They've really tried to do the Edge class, but provide us with a brand new level of Edge class experience. We love Edge, Apex, Beyond, Ascent, but this is maybe taking it to really new shows, new restaurants, new experiences. So definitely check out Xcel. They're going to have, of course, like a Miami round trip, under $150 a day per person for a Caribbean sailing. Check out the transatlantics, right? If you want real great value, you've got one in 2027 in the spring, going from Miami to Barcelona with some great stops, or flip it and go in the fall of 2026 and come back from Barcelona to Miami. If you work with us, we can get you an all-in package, which includes a beverage package, includes Wi-Fi, refundable deposits. Those book up quickly, but there still may be some availability. If you prefer Fort Lauderdale, they've got Fort Lauderdale round trips, as well as European opportunities early in Xcel launching. But it is nice to know that you can see you've got some round trips in Barcelona and a round trip Barcelona-Athens. So if you want to do Edge class, you want to do Europe, this would be a really great opportunity. And the prices are still really quite good for a brand new ship overall.
Okay, next is the sister ship to Norwegian Aqua. This is Norwegian Luna, which will start sailing next April.
A lot like Aqua, they kind of took what people liked about Premium Viva, and there was some feedback that wasn't always 100% positive. And I think they fixed a lot of that with Aqua and now Luna. So people are coming back with, the things I didn't like about those ships have kind of been resolved with this, primarily doing Caribbean sailings. I did find one that goes out of New York. They're sending it up to New York in the spring of 2027 for a series of sailings. If you're up in that area and you want a convenient one, that may be one to consider. It's a lot of time on the ship because it just goes out to Bermuda and comes back for the week. That needs more days on the ship. We really like it on these new ships where we have a lot of sea days to really take advantage of it. You can see nice little combinations of things, fairly similar itineraries, really looking at 2 different itineraries, repeated a lot. But I found for you the sweet spots of really the best deals. If you want to be on the brand spanking new ship like Luna, go ahead and get yourself booked here. Legend of the Seas, this one we're excited about because it's the next Icon class number 3 coming out next year, summer 2026. We're booked on this one. and we're booked on a transatlantic. Why? Because of the great value.
Lots of sea days so we can enjoy the ship.
You'll have some pretty interesting sailings on this one as well because it's going to start in Europe. You get that European opportunity. Amazing looking ship. We're really excited about it because it's going to be completely different sometimes than we sail like on Alzamara with 600 people. A few more people on this one, but a lot more going on the ship. Check out the transatlantic though. If you want the value, fall 2026, get Icon class for $236 per day per person. That's a really great deal. Once it's back in the US, then you've got round trips, Western Caribbean, Southern Caribbean, a lot of repeat of these itineraries, some different spots here. I like the fact that they have one that's Curacao, Aruba, Cabo Rojo, more unique itineraries. They're doing a better job varying it up a bit, but all of these are really good deals for Icon class ships under $300 per person, which is really nice, and be on a brand spanking new ship overall. By the way, we can personally assist you with your next cruise booking. We can offer you quotes, help match you to the ship that's best, and work super hard to get you the best value, amenities, onboard credits. You can go to the link on the screen, digitalromance.com/cruising, or scan the QR code, fill that out, and we'll be happy to get back to you personally.
Next, we have Explora 3. We talked a little earlier about Explora. It's a suites-only cruise line.
They have really cool itineraries. As you can see, Explora offers a lot. It's virtually all included. You get all your specialty dining, gratuities are included. When you do Wi-Fi, they give you for like 4 devices. They give you high speed. So this is, I think, a real value area if you want luxury or that close to 5-star experience. Explora's really one to look at because it's quite a bit less typically than Seabourn and Silver Sea. So if you're ready to jump up maybe above like Oceania, Explora might be one to definitely look at overall. Found some deals, though I will tell you that Explora doesn't have huge differences in what they charge per day. But these were definitely the best we can find, but some really cool itineraries. I mean, go ahead and do a Trans-Pacific, Vancouver to Tokyo. So can't beat that. Lots of sea days really to enjoy luxury on the Explorer 3. You can see we've got some other ones here. Panama Canal Transit. You've got Caribbean. You've got a Canada-New York Caribbean, a Singapore round trip. So what I love about these ships, if you're about destinations and changing things up, then this is definitely one to look at. Let's go on to MSC World Asia. I don't really know why it's called World Asia. Maybe eventually it's going to sail in Asia. It's Asia themed, just so you know, because I originally thought all the itineraries would be in Asia. They're not, as you'll see here soon. Great value, as you know. And Yacht Club, if you want to jump up to suites, MSC may be the way to do it. Going to start sailing in winter 2026. Got 3 pretty cool itineraries in Rome, out of Marseille, and out of Barcelona. Just understand MSC is a little different experience. They onboard and disembark people almost at every stop. It's not, most cruise lines don't do that. But if you want maximum value for your money, MSC might be one to do it on. And the ships are beautiful. They're huge. They're brand new. Definitely consider a Yacht Club experience. So.
Speaking of which, there's a new one coming up behind that one, World Atlantic by MSC. We don't have any schedules on this one yet. Expect to be based in Port Canaveral and working in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and they're making this a lot like World America, purpose-built for the U.S. market, but that's really the most popular market. I'm betting the pricing will be very similar, $150 per person per day, somewhere in that amount. Explora, who definitely wins the award for the most creative names of their ships. So here we go, Explorer 4. They just number them, but again, very similar. This is going to be immersion heavy overnights, really cool itineraries. We've seen these ships in a lot of cool places. Probably going to be at about that $500 per person per day, but it's almost all inclusive. So at least consider that. But we're excited that they're really expanding their fleet and they'll have 4 ships out by 2027. What do you think they're going to call it?
Explorer 5.
Explorer 5. So continue their deployment, but even more really cool places that they're going to be going. So check out the itineraries. This one's probably going to be in about that same 500 to 550 plus. Itineraries are not out yet, but as you're seeing 2 more launches coming up in 2027 for Explora. So maybe take your first one on number 1 or number 2 and start to build up some loyalty. They do status matching, by the way. If you have status on any of the premium lines, they will status match you. So keep that in mind as well.
A new Viking ship coming up in 2027, the Astrea. It's using new technology. A lot of the new ships are trying to be more eco-friendly.
Let's talk about some deals here. As you can see, I found the best deals. Pretty good overall, really, considering it's a brand new ship. And this is 2027, 2028 pricing. That's why I say lock it in now, because these prices are going to go up. I'm sure across the board, virtually everything we showed you will go up as those cruises get closer. Every once in a while, you get a last minute deal. Not very common these days. What I like about locking in 27 or even 28 on some cruise lines is inflation's going to hit, prices will go higher. But these are still 2025 prices. So you can see Barcelona to London. You have a Lisbon to Rome there, which is an amazing itinerary. If If you want to get up into the Northern Lights, check this one out, February 3rd, 2028. Get it on your bucket list. Book it now. All the ones that we've seen that see Northern Lights that we've been booking have like doubled or tripled in price. So get it while it's still available. Deal number 4, Barcelona or Bergen. Again, 14 nights, under $500 per person per day. A really nice deal on Viking and pretty much near all inclusive. Now, Oceania's got a new ship coming out as well. They're going to be taking what they learned from Vesta and Allura, making some modifications, and coming out in summer 2027 with a new class. I think it's going to be called Sonata. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the name of the first ship. Usually that's the class that they call it. About 1,300 guests or so. We're waiting for the itineraries, probably going to be doing some Mediterranean. Going to be pretty exciting. They really hit it out of the park with Allura and Vesta, and if they're looking to improve on that, I'm all into it. Some real advice for all of you on these new ones: book early, book now. You can always adjust later. The fares go down and you haven't done final payment. Usually you can get some kind of matching. Consider shoulder season. If you don't mind, sometimes a guaranteed cabin or even an obstructed cabin, if you want to be on one of the more premium lines, you can save some money. I know it's not for everybody, but just those are things to think about if you want to save money, especially on newer ships. Book early as possible. Maybe even jump up to a suite when you have something like MSC with the Yacht Club when it's inexpensive to begin with. Realize the inclusions. Some lead with good prices, but you pay more for everything else. Make sure you know what's included. We'll put a video that will come up here in a moment that you can click on that tells you exactly what is included and what's not included in your cruise. By the way, we can help you personally with all of these. We can really help you match you to one of these brand new cruise ships or even any cruise ship sailing right now. We really try really hard to find you the best deal, the best perks, amenities, and onboard credits. Go to the QR code or the link on the screen and we're happy to help you.
Put in the comments down below, which ship appeals to you the most? Which one do you want to book right now? Put it in the comments below.
Yeah, we want to see which one wins. What's the most exciting ship out or coming out over the next couple of years? So with that,
We'll see you out there.
see you out there.